Well, hello there, and I do hope you're all well. Now, this is a bit of a belter. If anything, shows you how what's the word I'm after? So out of touch this government is. I think this has got to be it. Yes, not only do we have a Prime Minister who just thinks he can just do whatever he likes because he's above the law, we now have a Foreign Secretary who now just seems to think you just waste money willy-nilly. And in this article, we'll go through the fact that spent £500,000, yes, on a trip to Australia, which was deemed, let's be honest, it does seem quite a hell of a lot of money. And there's a little bit of a twist in this article which shows you how much this woman has not only changed her political views and her voice, she now just seems to think that whatever she wrote in the past means bugger all now. But anyway, we'll get on to it. And it's here which says, the Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has defended chartering a private jet to Australia after reports estimated the journey would have cost taxpayers around £500,000. Critics said the move was a grotesque misuse of public money, but our Dizzy Lizzie said the government plane was available precisely so that government ministers can travel. I'm not going to be doing that often because I don't have as much of a deep voice as our Dizzy Lizzie, but anyway. Asked if it would not have been better to fly on a commercial airline, she insisted all government decisions are based on value for money. Well, every government decision is based on value for money. We have a government plane specifically so ministers like me in my role as Foreign Secretary can go and do work overseas, which is ultimately delivering for the British people, she said. Ah, that age-old saying, delivering for the British people. The Independent reported the Foreign Secretary had opted for the private flight for her trip last week due to security concerns, although commercial flights were available. The newspaper said she had travelled on the plane on the private government Airbus A321, which a senior source told that would have cost £500,000 to operate. The Foreign Office said the trip was within the rules set by the Ministerial Code. Ah, yes, our Bodge doesn't hold them in very much regard, does it? The Ministerial Code. But officials said using the private jet allowed the trip's delegation to travel together and have private discussions on sensitive security matters, that commercial flights were fully booked, and that using a commercial flight would have separated Miss Truss from her delegation and protection team. It also gave Dizzy Lizzie the option of returning to the UK early if needed, it is understood. But Labour Deputy Leader Angela Rayner said the use of the private jet showed the public exactly quite how little respect this Conservative government has for taxpayers' money. And I think with that £37 billion they wasted on the track and trace system, I think she might have a point. She also said it is obscene that government ministers are jet-setting yet are hiking taxes and refusing to do anything to help working families when they are feeling the pinch of the cost of living crisis. Tories waste disgusting amounts of public money on their own vanity and comfort. Labour wants to see families see a cut to energy bills. That is the difference. S&P Environment spokesman Deirdre Brock added that it was a grotesque misuse of taxpayers' money to fund her jet-set lifestyle. She also said, with a record like this, lavish Liz will make a fitting successor to our Boris Johnson. And I think she might have a point. In a policy paper called Back to Black, this is the real belter here, which Liz Truss co-authored in 2009, should I say. She, among the others, outlined how every public sector worker should feel personal responsibility, should I say, for the money they spent and the money they save. They should spend taxpayers' money with at least the care they would give to their own. This change of mindset would be reflected in everyday changes such as travelling by economy rather than business class, to larger scale changes around focusing on value for money. It should start at the top, with MPs reviewing the expenses they have become accustomed to claiming and filter down throughout the entire sector. Quite clearly, she has now just ignored everything she wrote in 2009. The ministerial clause says that ministers can authorise non-scheduled flights, which a scheduled service is not available, or when it is essential to travel by air, but the requirements of official or parliamentary business or security considerations preclude the journey being made by a scheduled service. Labour MP for Rodner and the chair of the Commons Committee on Standards, Chris Bryant, tweeted, "For comparison, my first trip as a Foreign Office Minister was on EasyJet at 6 a.m. and we didn't pay for seedy boardings." Well, seedy boarding, should I say. Look at her with that cup. Pret a manger. I think they should change that E to A and have it as Pratt, because that's all she is, in a vacuous Pratt. A Foreign Office spokesman, a Foreign Office lackey, said, "It's necessary for the Foreign Secretary to travel abroad to pursue UK interests around security, trade and technology, as she did during this visit to Australia. Travelling this way allows ministers to have private discussions on sensitive security matters and flexibility to respond to rapidly changing global events. This trip used government transport and was fully within the rules." I always say that saying, fully within the rules. The largest of the private aircraft available to government RAF Voyager was the subject of controversy in 2020 after a red, white and blue makeover costing almost £1 million. So they've got form on this silly vanity stuff, haven't they? The once grey plane was being resprayed in white with a Union flag on the tail fin and United Kingdom written in gold on the fuselage. Boris Johnson had previously complained about the military paint scheme used on the jet. Look at Stevie. Oh God, aren't we so embarrassing? Downing Street confirmed at the time the work would cost around £900,000 and said the new colour scheme meant the plane could better represent the UK around the world with national branding. Smaller aircraft, an Airbus A321, is what Ms Truss had used for her trip. Good God. In photographs shared online last year, it appeared to have had a makeover similar to that of the RAF Voyager, and the contract for the aircraft said a key requirement for this new capability is that the aircraft must be operated in a Global Britain livery. Good God, Global Britain. The contract said this meant that the plane could only be used by the government. Oh dear, aren't we so embarrassing? But yeah, £500,000, that's a lot of money in it. Lots of money. They've wasted how much on that track and trace? 37 billion. So I suppose what's 500,000 nowadays? But yeah, with the cost of living going up, going through the roof, I'm not sure too many people, electorate, should I say, would be too happy with that. But you never know. All she's got to say is, "Well, I'm getting Brexit done," and they'll say, "Oh yeah, that's fine. Just crack on, Dizzy Lizzy, get on with it." We have jumped the shark in this country. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a bit of a story or a non-star story, should I say? What do you guys think? Anyway, I shall leave the video here, and until the next time, I shall bid you farewell, and this time, yes, have a good weekend. and take care.